Okay, this is Technique 3 under Strategy 1 words. Technique 3 states to replace vague words with concrete substitutes. And vague words are common in our vocabulary when we speak as well. Most people use words like it, thing, many, very, soon, good, bad to describe things or to label things. See, I'm using them now. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we talk. But when you're writing a piece, you want to make sure that your language is as crisp, precise, and clear as possible. And so when you use those kinds of vague words, thing, for example, what does that mean? Thing can mean so many things. For example, if at the end of a reflection you say, I was a better person because of that, that's vague language. What does that mean? For one person, it might mean the opposite of someone else. For example, if someone is very timid and shy, if they say, I learned to speak up, I learned to be more assertive, I learned to open my mouth more when I needed to, that would maybe make that person a better person in that situation, whereas someone else might be too overly aggressive. They might get their foot in their mouth by saying too much at certain times. And so for them, I was a better person may mean I learned to control my tongue, I learned to be sensitive to what other people were saying, and I learned not to say things in certain situations where I used to be hurtful to people. So using concrete language is very important. The technique itself actually states, replace vague words with concrete substitutes. The explanation, concrete words work better than general ones because they distinguish objects and situations and strengthen sentences. And then it gives examples of those that were already stated. Specific replacements add precision and meaning. Here's an example of a vague sentence. Getting a pedicure to relieve stress is a good thing. Well, we don't know what that means. For some people, it might be just a nice thing to relax them. For someone else, if they've had a really tragic experience, it might be something that takes them away from that for a moment. So it could be different things for different people. Getting a pedicure to relieve stress is a healthy choice. So we see what that means in that specific situation. And then another example, Sarah and Jamal went to the thing. They said they had fun. Okay, what thing? And in what way did they have fun? Because there are different levels of fun, and you know, we could be more precise there, the writer could. Sarah and Jamal attended the formal. The event lasted an extra hour because no one would stop dancing. Okay, so we know that there was a spontaneous lengthening of the event because everyone was having such a good time moving their bodies to the music. So we get a sense specifically of why Sarah and Jamal had so much fun and why, what they attended and why. And so that gives you an example of how to make vague words more precise. So when you use words like thing, think of a concrete substitute that identifies thing. It makes it more clear and it identifies what you mean in that situation versus what someone else may mean. Also, good and bad, there are a lot of different kinds of good and bad. A word like interesting can be useful in some situations, but also in others it can have positive and negative connotations, so it might be good to use more refreshing turns of phrase there as well. So just remember to replace vague words with concrete substitutes as often as possible. As always, there are times where using vague words is not necessarily a bad thing when you're writing, but it's just something to keep in mind to improve the style of your writing overall, and in most cases it's probably more effective to use those precise substitutes.